Halloween. The very word conjures images of ghouls and goblins, flickering jack-o'-lanterns, and children dressed as their favorite superheroes and princesses, eagerly going door to door for treats. It's a night of spooky fun where we embrace the eerie and the macabre, transforming our homes into haunted houses and hosting ghostly gatherings. But beneath the surface of costumes and candy lies a rich and ancient history, stretching back thousands of years to the Celtic festival of Samhain, a time steeped in tradition and mystery. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago in what is now Ireland, Britain, and northern France, observed Samhain on October 31st. They marked this date as their New Year's Eve, a time when the harvest season ended and the cold, dark winter began, symbolizing both death and rebirth. It was a time of transition, a liminal period where the boundary between the living world and the other world was believed to be at its thinnest, allowing spirits to cross over. Imagine a time before electricity, when the setting sun plunged the world into darkness, and the night was filled with the unknown. This was the world of the Celts, a world where spirits roamed freely on Samhain, and the living sought to appease them with offerings and rituals, hoping to ensure their protection and favor for the coming year. For the Celts, Samhain was a time of profound spiritual significance, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. It was believed that on this night, the veil separating the living from the dead became so thin that spirits could easily pass through, wandering freely among the living. This belief, coupled with the natural anxieties associated with the onset of winter, made Samhain a time of both reverence and trepidation. The long dark nights and the cold harsh weather added to the sense of unease. To honor the dead and ensure a bountiful harvest in the coming year, the Celts built massive bonfires. These fires were central to the celebrations and rituals of Samhain. These bonfires served a dual purpose. They were not only a source of warmth and light during the encroaching darkness, but also held a deeper spiritual significance. They were seen as a source of warmth and light during the encroaching darkness, and their flames were believed to attract the spirits of the dead, drawing them closer to the living. During these gatherings, people often wore costumes, usually consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. These costumes were thought to disguise them from malevolent spirits. Feasts were held, and offerings of food and drink were left out for the spirits. These offerings were a way to honor the dead and seek their favor. It was believed that if the spirits were pleased with the offerings, they would bestow good fortune on the living, ensuring prosperity and protection. However, if they were angered, they could bring misfortune and hardship, causing chaos and suffering for those who had failed to honor them properly. One of the most enduring symbols of Halloween is the jack-o'-lantern, a carved pumpkin illuminated from within by a candle. This glowing visage is a staple of Halloween decor, casting an eerie yet inviting light. This tradition, too, has its roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, a time when the veil between the living and the dead was believed to be at its thinnest. But while the jack-o'-lantern may seem like a whimsical decoration today, its origins lie in a darker, more cautionary tale, one that has been passed down through generations. Enter Stingy Jack, a mischievous figure from Irish folklore, whose story is as intriguing as it is eerie. As the legend goes, Jack was a blacksmith known for his cunning and his fondness for strong drink. He was a man who could outwit anyone, even the devil himself. One fateful night, Jack encountered the devil himself, who had come to collect his soul. This meeting would set the stage for a tale of trickery and deceit. Ever the trickster, Jack convinced the devil to climb a tree for an apple, a simple yet cunning ruse. Once the devil was perched high above, Jack quickly carved a cross into the tree trunk, trapping the devil in the branches, unable to descend. Jack struck a deal with the devil, a pact that would have lasting consequences. In exchange for his freedom, the devil promised not to claim Jack's soul upon his death, a promise that would come to haunt Jack later. Years later, when Jack eventually died, he was turned away from the pearly gates of heaven due to his wicked ways. His cunning had earned him no favor in the afterlife. Condemned to wander the darkness between worlds for eternity, Jack was given only a burning ember from the fires of hell to light his way. This ember was his only source of light in the eternal darkness. He placed the ember inside a carved-out turnip, creating a makeshift lantern to guide his restless spirit. This eerie lantern would eventually evolve into the jack-o'-lanterns we know today, a symbol of both mischief and caution. Halloween journeyed across the Atlantic with European immigrants in the 19th century. Among them were many Irish immigrants, fleeing the devastating potato famine. They brought with them their customs and beliefs, including the celebration of Halloween. In the United States, Halloween evolved into a more secular holiday, focusing on community-building activities. The tradition of carving pumpkins brought over from Ireland took root in America. The 20th century witnessed the transformation of Halloween into a commercial juggernaut. Businesses recognized its economic potential, and Halloween costumes, decorations, and candy became increasingly elaborate. The rise of mass media, particularly television and film, shaped the modern image of Halloween. Horror movies cemented the association between Halloween and all things spooky. Classic films like Dracula and Frankenstein continue to inspire Halloween costumes and decorations. Halloween parties evolved from simple gatherings to elaborate themed events. Trick-or-treating became a mainstay, with children eagerly donning costumes and going door-to-door for sweet treats. While Halloween has its roots in the British Isles, its appeal has transcended borders. From Mexico's Dia de los Muertos to Japan's Kawasaki Halloween Parade, each culture has woven its own customs into this spooky celebration. In Mexico, Dia de los Muertos is a vibrant celebration of life and death. Families gather to honor their deceased loved ones with colorful altars adorned with offerings. In Japan, Halloween has gained immense popularity, particularly among young people. The Kawasaki Halloween Parade attracts thousands of participants and spectators each year. People go all out with their costumes, transforming into creatures of fantasy and horror. While Halloween is a time for make-believe, the world has its share of real-life horrors. One such tragedy is the infamous Wineville chicken coop murders, a series of abductions and murders in Los Angeles in the late 1920s. The crimes came to light just days before Halloween in 1928, casting a pall over the holiday. Another chilling tale is the Texarkana Moonlight Murders, a series of unsolved murders in the spring of 1946. The attacks created a climate of fear and paranoia in the community. The assailant, dubbed the Phantom Killer, was never caught. The case remains one of the most infamous unsolved crime sprees in American history. As the veil between the living and the dead purportedly thins on Halloween, we delve into haunted locations. From ancient castles to abandoned asylums, these sites offer a glimpse into the darker side of human experience. One such place is the Tower of London, a historic castle with a bloody past. Visitors and staff have reported seeing the apparitions of Anne Boleyn and the two young princes murdered within its walls. Another location is Waverly Hills Sanatorium, a former tuberculosis sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Opened in 1910, Waverly Hills gained a reputation as a place of suffering and despair. Countless patients succumbed to the disease within its walls, and their spirits are said to linger. Their presence is felt in cold spots, unexplained noises, and fleeting apparitions. While tales of ghosts and goblins may send shivers down our spines, it's important to approach these claims with skepticism. Many Halloween traditions are rooted in superstition, but we can apply scientific principles to investigate these phenomena. Take, for instance, the popular Halloween activity of holding a seance. There is no scientific evidence to support the notion that communication with the dead is possible. Consciousness is a product of the brain, and when we die, our brains cease to function. Experiences of paranormal activity can often be attributed to psychological phenomena such as suggestibility and pareidolia. Halloween is ultimately a celebration of life and death, a time to confront our fears and embrace the unknown. The holiday's origins in Samhain underscore this theme. By confronting our fears and acknowledging the cycle of life and death, we gain a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Halloween provides a safe outlet for exploring our darker impulses and confronting our fears in a playful environment. By dressing up as monsters and ghosts, we embrace the thrill of the unknown. Halloween continues to evolve, reflecting the changing times while holding on to its core elements. It's a holiday that blends ancient traditions with modern sensibilities. Today, Halloween is a global phenomenon, celebrated with costume parties, haunted attractions, and trick-or-treating events. Social media platforms buzz with costume reveals and DIY decoration ideas. The commercialization of Halloween has led to a surge in innovation, with elaborate animatronics and high-tech haunted houses. Escape rooms, themed bar crawls, and interactive theater productions offer new ways to celebrate. Halloween allows us to confront our fears, embrace our imaginations, and celebrate the cycle of life and death in a playful and profound way.